Please be seated. So, it's events like these that teach us how fragile life really is. Having been a law enforcement officer for 28 years, I've seen too many bad things, but this one was bad. We don't control these things, and it makes you realize how small you are in the world when something like this happens. Never seen the amount of destruction and the amount of damage and the speed in which it took place. And I think the number one focus of today is to not forget the people we lost in that. So please join me in your thoughts going out to them, because we lost lives in this, and thousands lost their homes. People lost their family members, they lost their friends. And I think that's the saddest thing of moments like this. So my heart goes out to all of you who've experienced that loss. I don't even know what it feels like to lose a home or lose a loved one in a fire, but I know that there's a lot of people in our community dealing with that, and they're going to be dealing with that for a long time. So don't forget that it's not over. It's going to be months, years as people go through this to get through it. I don't think we understand the level at which it's going to impact lives, and the community will be different. It's not the same anymore. I've talked to many people who've been through this fire, and don't forget about the people who are scared. People ran from their homes in the middle of the night while their cars were on fire. That's the reality of what happened for a lot of people. So I share that because I just wanted, so many of us didn't experience that, and you got to have those thoughts for the people that did. But in all of that, be thankful for all that we do have. So many people lived, so many homes were saved. Property is property. I know it's horrible to lose your house, but so many people made it through this and were saved and rescued and got out. And that to me is a testament of what we did. What I really want to do is thank everyone in this community. I know I'm going to talk a little bit about first responders, but I have never seen a team come together like it has in this event. And I don't mean just the people that get paid to do it. I mean the community, the first responders, agencies from up and down the state. I mean, this was amazing to me to see it run and see how well it worked. I can't even share all the stories I have. It's just too much. I won't cover all the agencies because I can't. So I'm just going to talk a little bit about a few. The first thing I want to say is the firefighters. Now, if you know deputies are firefighters, a good deputy likes to give a firefighter a bad time. Okay, that's what we do. It's a friendly rivalry because they sleep and get paid. Come on. That's against our rules. So, but what I want to say is that I've never worked so close with firefighters, and they put this fire out. So now give them a round of applause. I knew they were doing a good job when deputies came in from the field and started commenting on how good their fire lines were. Now, they're not going to like it that I'm sharing that secret, but that's how it was. So really, I was so impressed. They fight fires like nothing, and they really did it. So thank you. I really appreciate all that you guys did for us. I want to talk about a few others who are not mentioned as much in this that are so important. I want to talk about EMTs and paramedics on ambulance crews. You know, they were all over out there. Not just taking care of the injured, but evacuating hospitals, evacuating people. I mean, I don't even know the level of people that were out there taking people in the field. I talked to a guy, paramedic, off duty, heard they were evacuating the hospital, drove to the hospital in his truck, identified himself, and started putting patients in his truck along with the medical equipment to take them to the evac center. That's the kind of cooperation happening in this community. Law enforcement from all over the Bay Area. Monday morning at 8 o'clock, we were 8 hours into this, and there was 100 San Francisco Police Department officers in my front lot. That's the kind of cooperation. Alameda County was sending 150, and they already had a command team with us running all the emergency operations stuff. The National Guard, 600 troops by like Tuesday or Wednesday. I've been in government for a while and I haven't seen it work like that in a long time. So that was pretty impressive. Really, really impressive. I told the people I work with that all the rewards of my career come from the teamwork in it. And I didn't know that when I started law enforcement, but in the first couple weeks I realized that's what it's going to be. But this, by far, was the proudest moment ever, just to see, and it was everybody, the whole community, everybody come together. So as the sheriff, I'd be remiss in not thanking my own staff, because they were amazing. So thank you to the members of the Sonoma County Sheriff's Office. And I'm not just talking about the deputies. I'm talking about everybody, the entire SO team. So there were deputies that kept that jail secure and kept the inmates safe right up to the point we almost had to evacuate them. There were deputies who risked their life on the street to pull people out of houses, stick them in patrol cars, and drive them down. I made it in about 12:30 that night, and I walked out to the front lobby because we were going to have to evacuate the main office, and there was a pile of people in there with blankets and pajamas. So I asked them if they had a car, they were going to have to go. No, deputy pulled us out of the house and drove us here, said we'd be safe. So that's the kind of stuff that was going on. I want to just share two groups with you at the sheriff's office that I think were just amazing to keep the machine running. I want to talk about dispatch for a minute. Dispatchers tend to be the unsung hero. It's a hard job because you listen to people screaming on the phone, you send deputies, and you don't know what happens. That's just the end of it for them. So that night, when that fire started, there were 6 people on duty. They took 450 calls in the first hour, and they averaged 300 calls every hour after until 8 in the morning. There weren't 6 there for long, because when I got there at 4 or 5 to check on them, there were like 18, because everybody came to work. They just knew it was happening and had to come to work and do the job. Don't forget about your dispatchers. On top of that, we literally almost evacuated the main office. The smoke was so bad you couldn't see. The air conditioners were down, the power was out, the dispatch rooms were heating up because of the computers, and we sent dispatchers to Marin. We were going to switch all the lines to Marin. And our firefighters came through again and set up a line around the sheriff's office so we didn't have to evacuate. And that's how dispatch was able to keep running. And just to make the point that there's so many team members, facility operations for the county, the people that keep the buildings running, middle of the night, guy was there making sure the generator's on, restarting the AC so we don't have to evacuate, clearing out the smoke, and cooling off the computers in dispatch. That's the kind of teamwork I'm talking about. Sheriff's office is a big machine. A lot of money, a lot of people, a lot of things we do. It's an enormous business. We have a team of people that just run the business. Contracts, money, everything else. Our team leader in that, she was there at 7 in the morning, And that was her first of several 16-hour days while she pulled her team together and supported the 600 people that were coming out of the sheriff's office every day. That's a lot of outhouses, it's a lot of food, it's a lot of Gatorade, it's cell phone batteries, radios, all day long, and they ran for 12 days like that. I saw people's personal cars loaded with so much Gatorade you could rock it back and forth, going out to some places to drop off water. So think about those business employees that come to work and take care of us. As Napoleon said, an army marches on its stomach, and that's really true. I've never eaten so well in a disaster. Really, the most important thing I'm going to say today is that everyone in this community made this happen. I'm proud to live here, and it worked really well. And thanks to all of you who have thanked us. That's why we do it. It's important. The briefing room is full of cards. We're inundated with that stuff, but it's wonderful, and we really appreciate it. These events happen. We don't control them. They're terrible. We can only prepare so much. But what we can always do is how we react, and that's where we make the difference. And in this community, everybody came together and made it happen. And we'll get through this, but the next couple of years are going to be tough. And it's all going to be about teamwork, and I'm absolutely confident after seeing what we can do. So I'll leave you with two things. Calm is contagious, and as a team, that's why we're Sonoma Strong. Thank you.
Yes. I think there is